Hi, and welcome back to Reclaiming You. Well, it's been a journey so far. Setting boundaries, managing guilt, rediscovering your passions. Each step has been about learning to honor yourself. So today we're going to focus on something that ties it all together, and that's creating a sustainable self-care routine. Self-care often gets misunderstood. It's not just bubble baths or spa days, though, yeah, they can be absolutely great. But real self-care is about taking intentional actions to support your mental, emotional, and physical well-being on a consistent basis. But the key thing here is self-care needs to feel manageable. If implementing self-care feels overwhelming or just like another obligation, it's not going to stick. So today I want to explore how to create a routine that fits into your life, that nourishes you, and that is going to be sustainable. So we're going to start by starting small and being specific. Sustainability begins with simplicity. Instead of overwhelming yourself with a long list of practices, focus on one, maybe two small things that you can do daily. So it may be a 5-minute morning stretch. It may be drinking a glass of water before your morning coffee. Or it might be writing down one thing that you're grateful for each evening. These small actions build momentum, and over time, they become habits. So self-care can look different for everyone. And what energizes one person might drain another. Ask yourself, what helps me feel calm and centered? And what gives me energy or makes me feel alive? So an example of how two people can find that two very different things are restorative for them is taking the view of me and my best friend. Now, my best friend loves the gym, boxing, running, cycling. She is just like, fitness is her absolute go-to. And going out for a long walk with her dogs or going for a run, that for her is a way that she practices self-care. It makes her feel alive. It makes her feel refreshed and restored. Now, for me, that would just completely drain me. Even if I tried to put those kinds of things in place, that's not something that for me energizes me. For me, it's more about taking that time by myself, reading a book, having a coffee. And so, like I say, there are two very, very different ways for restorative and for relaxing between me and my best friend. Now, one isn't right and the other one wrong. This is just two very different people who have very different ways of relaxing and restoring that energy and that joy. So, like you can see there, for some people, movement is what's important to them. Yoga, walking, dancing. For others, like me, it's stillness, breathing, meditating, or just simply sitting in silence. You need to choose what feels restorative to you. There's no should in here. This is what works for you. And it's also important to build that self-care into your day-to-day routine. You need to weave it into what you already do. So, for example, while brushing your teeth, you might repeat an affirmation in your head like, I deserve to take care of myself. During your commute, you might listen to music or to a podcast that really lifts you up and sets you up for a fantastic day ahead. Set yourself a daily reminder to step outside for a moment and breathe the fresh air. When self-care is integrated into your day, it starts to feel less like a chore and more like a natural rhythm. And just as we looked at setting boundaries with other people, setting boundaries around your self-care is so important. Protecting your self-care time is just as important as creating it. Let others know when you need those uninterrupted moments for yourself. It's okay to say, I just need 20 minutes to recharge. Or, I'm not available right now, but I'll be free later. Because honoring your own self-care teaches others to respect it too. And one thing I found quite helpful is it's always so easy to let things like that go. So I actually timetable things. I've got in my calendar, I have things timetabled in that I need to take this time or I need to take that time. And when it's there, when it's in black and white, or in my case, purple, pink, and green, in your calendar, it's a lot easier for you to say, do you know what? I've made that appointment. Just like you wouldn't back out of an appointment with someone that you loved or with a health professional for an important visit, don't back out of an appointment with yourself. So make those appointments with yourself. Put them in your calendars, in your diaries, in your phones. And be prepared to embrace flexibility as well. Life is unpredictable and routines will get disrupted, but that's okay because self-care doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be present. If you miss a day, or if your practice needs to shift because things have changed in how your day-to-day life looks, make the changes, but be gentle with yourself. Self-care isn't about rigidity. It's about creating space for yourself no matter what. So if for some really good reason you need to break an appointment with yourself, reschedule it. Don't just cancel it. Reschedule to a time when you can take that time for yourself. So this week, I'm challenging you to choose just one small self-care practice and make it a priority. Write it down, set a reminder, or to even tell a friend to keep yourself accountable. And most importantly, remember, self-care isn't selfish. It's essential. You can't pour from an empty cup. And the more you care for yourself, the more you'll have to offer the world. By showing up for yourself, you're doing an amazing job. So keep going because you're worth it. So until next time, stay kind to yourself, stay consistent, and keep choosing you.